Welcome to Angola, home of the third financing summit of Africa's infrastructure development, organized by the AUDA-NEPAD and the African Union and hosted by the government of Angola. It's been a fantastic 3 days here. What has been standout for you?
Fundamentally, three things stand out. The first is the declaration of intent between the African Union Development Agency and the Alliance of African Multilateral Financing Institutions that was signed on the first day in the plenary. It's not a document actually only. What it means is this is a materialization of two things. The first, the materialization of the speeches that we have been hearing that Africa needs to come together to finance its own development. So for the first time we have this compact between the AU, the African Union, and the African Multilateral Financing Institution to say that, listen, there are priorities on this continent. We cannot continue relying on external forces to provide the strategic financing for our development. We know our problem, let's own it, and let's come together and build the necessary mechanism. That's one. But it also means a crossing of a milestone in the implementation of the African Union Development Agency mandate. In 2018, when the NEPAD agency moved to AUDA-NEPAD, the member state clearly entrusts to NEPAD two additional broad mandates. Number one, to serve as the interface of partnership between the continent and the rest of the world and the finance community, and to undertake the full range resource mobilization to achieve Agenda 2063. And I think this declaration of intent with AMFI is an illustration of that mandate. So this is the first thing that's happened. The second is the quality of project that's presented. We have three types of project: mature project that are mid-stage of preparation, and those that are an early stage. We just concluded the wrap-up of the session, and from the first group of the project that are mature, we can assure investors that there is a long-hanging fruit of around 5 billion investment that can promptly be addressed. And we count to bring this project to the African Investment Forum next month and to the EU-AU Business Forum that will take place actually here in Luanda. And the last, not the least, the third thing that stand out for me is the political commitment that has been expressed. You have here from the champion of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. You have been hearing from His Excellency the President of the Council of the Togolese Republic, who is the AU champion for SATAM. The commitment on the fact that if you want this transformation we're talking about a reality, infrastructure need to be implemented. And for infrastructure to be implemented, the cost of infrastructure need to be lowered. The cost of capital to finance infrastructure need to be lowered. Regulation need to be simplified, and the policy need to be harmonized to achieve that.
Ibrah, that's really good to hear, and it's great to see progress, and it's great to see really a very high level of coordination between all the agencies and the financiers, basically, at the end of the day, so that Africa can finance and manage its own infrastructure development, which is crucial for moving people, goods into Africa, trade, and actually realizing the dreams or making the reality of the African Continental Free Trade Area agreements. What I want to know from you is that also at this event we've had a good couple of days around transport and railway in particular. Anything stand out for you there?
Rail is not independent, is not a single sector, but rail needs to be fully integrated into the multimodal integrated infrastructure approach. So across a rail line you will have highways, and then you will have transmission line for electricity. And more importantly, the observation that comes clearly is that rail is great and road is great, but they are not mutually exclusive. They are complementary. If you have an area where you don't have enough density of population, it makes sense to have road and then to complement with the rail, and then when you reach the water, to have the multimodal fluvial infrastructure. So that idea, that concept of multimodal transport infrastructure with the rail as the backbone of it, I think come out very clearly. The second aspect that comes from rail is that as we are all committed to the Paris Agreement in lowering the gas emission, rail appears to be a very great alternative to the other transport infrastructure. It can reduce the emission significantly if we can commit to make rail as the means of transportation for goods and for people in many of those high density populated area of the continent.